Here we are again. In this video, we describe how to modify the contents of a file opened in Notepad, including using keyboard shortcuts. When you edit a file, you change it. You add text, delete text, rewrite text, change spelling or punctuation. You proof it and repeat. We saw in the first video of this lesson how to create new TXT files using Notepad. For this video, I created a new file, the newcareer.txt, and I saved it in the Be a Rockstar directory. Maybe my musical dreams aren't going to come true after all. So let's open this up. Double-clicking launches Notepad and loads the file into memory, and Notepad displays it. The most common task of editing in Notepad, and other editors too, is to select text. Indicate which letter, word, line, sentence, paragraph, or range of these is to be modified. You can tell when text has been selected because it displays as highlighted, usually a blue background and white text. How you select text depends on your PC configuration. Using a mouse, you position the cursor at the beginning of the range, hold the left button down while dragging the mouse to the right. Using the keyboard, you use the arrow keys to get to the start or end of the text range. Then Shift plus the right arrow key selects one character at a time each time you press the right arrow key. And of course, Shift with the left arrow goes the other way. Control-Shift right arrow selects one word at a time, and of course you go the other way with the left arrow. Shift plus End selects from the cursor to the end of the line, and Shift plus Home selects from the cursor to the beginning of the line. Shift plus up arrow, when positioned at the start of a line, selects the entire line above where the cursor was. Shift with the down arrow does the same thing in the other direction. Finally, Control-A selects the entire document. As for a computer with a touchpad, here's my touchpad, and that's what's considered to be the left button. Using a touchpad, position to the start of the text using the touchpad. Tap the touchpad to indicate the starting point. Hold the left button down while swiping to the right or down, like this. Using a touchscreen, use your finger to select text. Then a tap and hold is sort of like a right click, brings up a menu. Now that you know how to select text, you're ready to edit your file. Whether you are working with all new text or modifying an existing text file, you can use these helpful techniques. To delete text, select the text, click on the Edit menu and select Delete to delete the highlighted text. Or select the text, click on the Delete key to delete the highlighted text. To place text into the clipboard, select the text, click on the Edit menu and select Cut to put highlighted text into the clipboard, and it will be deleted from the source. Or select the text and press Ctrl-X to get the same effect. Or select the text, click on the Edit menu and select Copy. This will copy the highlighted text into the clipboard and leaves it behind in the source. Or select the text and press Ctrl-C to put the highlighted text into the clipboard, remaining in the source. Note, if you want to select all the text in your file, click on the Edit menu and select Select All. Or press Ctrl-A, then Ctrl-C to copy, or Ctrl-X to cut. Once you have some text in your clipboard, you'll want to paste it into your file. You position the cursor to the insertion point, click on the Edit menu, and select Paste, it pastes the clipboard contents at the insertion point. Or position at the insertion point and press Ctrl V. This pastes the clipboard contents at the insertion point also. To undo a cut or a paste, click on the Edit menu and select Undo, or press Ctrl Z. Pressing Ctrl Z again undoes the undo, sometimes called a redo, but you can only go one level deep either way. To locate a string in the text in your file, click on the Edit menu and then select Find, or press Ctrl F. In both cases, you will see a dialog box where you enter the string you are searching for. You can also specify a case-sensitive search. The default is case-insensitive, and whether you are to search down from the current cursor location or up. Then click Find Next. If you find a match, you can then look for the next match by continuing to click on the Find Next button. When there are no more occurrences in the direction of your search, you will see a Cannot Find dialog. Click OK. Also, if you have done a search earlier in this edit session, pressing F3 will invoke Find Next without having to bring up the dialog again. To replace one string in your file with another, click on the Edit menu and select Replace, or press Ctrl H. In both cases, you will see a dialog box where you enter the string you are searching for and the string you want to replace it with. You can also specify if a case-sensitive search should be made. Then click Find Next. You are positioned at the first occurrence of the search string, for you to decide if you want to make the replacement for this instance. If no, click Find Next to move on. If yes, click Replace, and the replacement is made and you're positioned at the next occurrence, or you get the Cannot Find your string message. If you know you want to replace all occurrences of the search string, you can click Replace All. If you want to timestamp the latest version of your file, place the cursor where you want the time and date to display, click on the Edit menu and select Time Date, or press F5. This is a very nice feature I only discovered lately. So, all of this so far is basically demonstrating the options of the Edit menu choices. Notice that clicking on Edit not only shows you the available options, it shows you the shortcut keys we've been talking about. When you've finished your work on the document, you'll want to use the File menu to print or save as, close, and so on. The File menu looks like this. If you just close the file, the Exit option of the File menu, or click the X in the upper right-hand corner, if you've actually made changes and not done a save yourself, Windows will ask if you want to save the file by bringing up this little dialog. If you choose Save, the version of the file in memory is written to disk, replacing the previous version, and Notepad is closed. If you choose Don't Save, the application is closed without writing the changes to disk. And if you choose Cancel, the exit is canceled, and you remain in edit of the file. If you select the New option under File, it works like Exit, except that at the end, instead of closing Notepad, the window is cleared so you can start a new document. Control-N has the same effect. If you select the Open option, it works like Exit, except that at the end you are shown the File Explorer interface to select the file you want to open. Control-O has the same effect. Sometimes you want to do a save even though you're not done yet. Perhaps you want to make sure nothing is lost in case of a power outage or battery failure. You can either go to File, then to Save, or press Ctrl-S. And as we saw in an earlier video, you can instead save as in order to save the current version under a different name. Note that there is no shortcut key for this. Perhaps you want to print the file as it currently stands. go to the File menu, select the Print option, or Control-P. In either case, you see a dialog like this. From here, you can select which printer you want to send this to, and your default printer is highlighted. The slider lets you see all the printers you have installed. Note Microsoft Print to PDF. This is new with Windows 10 and lets you create a PDF version of your file. If you select this, then click on Print, you'll get a File Explorer type dialog asking what you want to name the PDF file and where do you want to put it, which directory. It can be very useful to have a PDF version of your file. For example, using the Adobe Acrobat Reader, you can check your page boundaries. Since Notepad doesn't have a way to force start of page, you might have to insert blank lines to make your headers line up the way you want them, for example. This saves printing off documents only to find your page boundaries aren't what you want. You can also send a PDF file to a user who does not run Windows, Mac, Unix, Linux, for example, and they can read it. Finally, you can select the Page Setup dialog to set paper size, orientation, margins, and headers and footers to appear on each page. Clicking on Input Values takes you to a web page on Microsoft Support that describes the possible values for headers and footers. Here are the highlights. In the header or footer box, enter these: &L to indicate left align of the characters that follow, &C to indicate centering the characters that follow, and &R to right align the characters that follow. Then an &D will print the current date, &T print the current time, &F print the file name of the document, and &P will print the page number. Now, if you enter some text without any of the commands above, the text will be centered by default. If you leave header and/or footer blank, there will be no header and/or footer, respectively. You can combine a positioning command with a content command. For example, if in header you say &L, &F, it will left align the file name at the top of each page. Once you've set your print headers and footers, they will be used for all files opened in Notepad when you go to print. In this session, we've demonstrated how to select text using a mouse, your keyboard, a touchpad, and a touchscreen. Then we showed how to cut, copy, delete, or paste selected text, and how to use find and replace, how to insert a timestamp into your text. We demonstrated this using both edit menu choices and shortcut keys. Then we moved on to use the File menu, demonstrating how to save and save as, set up your print layouts, and how to print the contents of your file. Notice that whenever a menu choice shows an ellipsis, 3 dots, such as print, it indicates that choice will bring up a dialog. If there is no ellipsis, the command will be issued immediately. Most, but not all, of these techniques also work in WordPad, as well as other parts of Windows. So you see, Notepad is a pretty versatile program. Still, it can't emphasize sections of text using bold, underline, color, or italics. It can't mix fonts in a single document, and it can't include images or other objects. These are the sorts of things that WordPad can do. In the next lesson, we take a look at WordPad to see what features it offers and to figure out when we would choose to use that application. See you there.